1:15 p.m. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The news edited by Catherine Pereira and read by Geethanjali Ramanayaka. The headlines. The State Minister says that all parliamentarians have the responsibility to decide on the future of the country without narrow political gains. The Prime Minister appreciated the active contribution provided by the Muslim community to various sectors including the business and education fields in the country. Parliamentarian of the Samagi Jana Balawegaya says that it is not suitable to use children as shields to the problems which are created due to the tax policies. Measures will be taken to introduce a district digital index to Sri Lanka. Foreign news, UN says that Afghan economic hopes threatened by Taliban. News in detail. State Minister Ranjit Siambalapitiya says that all parliamentarians should set aside political differences and decide on the future of the country to overcome the challenges and receive the majority in Parliament regarding the proposal on the agreement of the IMF. He made these remarks participating in a program held in Kanangama area in Dehiyovita yesterday. Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena has appreciated the active contribution provided by the Muslim community to various sectors including the business and education fields in the country. He also pointed out that the President and the government have commended their remarkable contribution to the country. The Muslim community is working with other religious communities in coexistence in Ramzan fasting period. The Prime Minister also stated that the government has extended their dedication and support further to fulfill the economic targets of the country. He made these remarks while participating in the iftar ceremony held at the Temple Trees yesterday under the patronage of the President. Parliamentarian of the Samagi Jana Balawegaya Rohini Kumari Wijeratna says that it is not suitable to use children as shields to the problems which were created due to the government tax policies. If the problem of the university professors is with the government, they should seek an alternative method to solve their issues without using children for it. 2 months period has passed after conducting the GCE A-level examination. Therefore, an indefinite situation has created over the future of the children due to the delay of the evaluation of answer scripts of the exam. She made these remarks while joining the Dasadesin program of the SLBC. This news broadcast comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. Measures will be taken to introduce a district digital index to Sri Lanka. The initial stage, prepared by the Sri Lanka Information Communication Technology Agency Institute and the Department of Census and Statistics, has already completed. The Ministry of Public Administration and Home Affairs has provided their utmost support in this regard. The objective of this move is to take the country to a digital economy by the end of this year. A digital development committee has been established in 21 districts so far. The United National Party has pointed out that the facts included in the Gazette notification published on the 22nd of March this year and the Act forwarded to the Parliament during the then government in the year 2018 on the 9th of October are equal. The Act, which presented to the Parliament on the 17th of September 2018, was approved by the parliamentarians. Therefore, Parliamentarian Vajra Abeyewardene said that if it cannot be approved now, the groups who are opposing should express their reasons in this regard. And that ends local news for now.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
The national event of planting trees at the auspicious time for the Sinhala and Tamil New Year 2023 will be held tomorrow at 6:38 a.m. countrywide under the guidance of the Ministry of Agriculture. All 225 parliamentarians will be offered valuable fruit plants to take part in this national event, as this is a very important tradition among the other rites and rituals relating to the New Year celebrations in Sri Lanka. Agriculture Minister Mahinda Amaravira said that this program will be coordinated by all district secretaries and divisional secretaries tomorrow. Nearly 10 million plants will be planted at 6:38 a.m. to mark this New Year tradition. The main ceremony in this regard will be held at the Agrarian Service Centre in Angunukola Palasa under the patronage of the Minister Mahinda Amaravira. And that was the main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
The farmers say that the damages caused by wild animals to their home garden cultivations and the central hills in Dumbara Valley has increased. The crop damages caused by monkeys and other animals increase day by day. They request the relevant authorities to take speedy measures to safeguard their crop cultivation. And that came to you in Watchlight. Now moving on to a bulletin of world news. In the headlines, UN says that Afghan economic hopes threatened by Taliban. Hopes crumble for a pause in fighting in Sudan. And the Russian ships accused of North Sea sabotage. The UN says that weak signs of recovery in Afghanistan's economy are at risk of being undone by Taliban restrictions on women working for NGOs. Donations to the UN are under threat of falling sharply because of the ban of Afghan women working for it, the United Nations Development Programme said. The number of families living in poverty had nearly doubled in 2 years, its report found. The Taliban said politics should not be linked with humanitarian aid decisions. Afghanistan was pushed into economic collapse when the Taliban took over in 2021, and foreign funds that were being given to the previous regime were frozen. Heavy gunfire and the row of warplanes have shattered plans for a ceasefire in the Sudanese capital of Khartoum, which was started yesterday. Fighting was reported around the army headquarters by the airport in the city centre, which is surrounded by residential areas. Two rival generals at the heart of the conflict had agreed to a 24-hour humanitarian pause. Nearly 200 people have been killed in the fighting, which began on Saturday. Residents are low on food and water as clashes between the army and the Rapid Support Forces paramilitary group continue. Russia has a program to sabotage wind farms and communication cables in the North Sea, according to new allegations. Investigation by public broadcaster in Denmark, Norway, Sweden and Finland. It says Russia has a fleet of vessels disguised as fishing trawlers and research vessels in the North Sea. They carry underwater surveillance equipment and are mapping key sites for possible sabotage. The BBC understands that UK officials are aware of Russian vessels moving around UK waters as part of the program. Back to the headlines of the world news. The UN says that Afghan economic hopes threatened by Taliban. Hopes crumble for a pause in fighting in Sudan. And the Russian ships accused of North Sea sabotage. And that ends world news.
Development news.
The Sri Lanka Tourism Development Authority has stated that it expects a total of 400,000 tourists to arrive in this month. SLTDA Chairman Priyanth Fernando explained that as of 16th of April, 55,000 tourists have entered the island for the month of April alone. And that came to you in development news. Now moving on to sports. Bangladesh have left out seniors Salma Khatun and Rumana Ahmed from their consolidated white ball squad of 16 for the tour of Sri Lanka starting later this month. This will be the first time Bangladesh will be without these two stalwarts in ODIs, although the team played a match without this pair in Women's T20 World Cup in February this year. Women's selector Manjurul Islam has said that Salma and Rumana, who have combined 274 caps in international cricket, are rested, keeping in mind this year's busy schedule. Sri Lanka tour comprises 3 ODIs, which are part of the Women's Championships, and as many T20Is. And that was sports news.
Go ekak thiyana youth eකට life එකේ change එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න ඇස් වහගෙන දැකපු හීන හැබැයි කරන්න youth එකට නියමෙට set වෙන friendship එක මෙන්න.
The all new NSB Ithru Mithru account, NSB IM, a plan for your dream.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Coca-Cola Beverages and Ceylon Cold Stores Elephant House have jointly commenced a program to collect plastic materials that can be recycled in the vicinity of the Central Highway Road. The program is underway in line with the World Recycling Day. 16 such centres are to be established with the support of the Road Development Authority. And that was Business News.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Go එකක් තියන youth එකට life එකේ change එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න ඇස් වහගෙන දැකපු ගින හැබැයි කරන්න youth එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න friendship එක මෙන්න
The all-new NSB Ithru Mithru account. NSB IM, a plan for your dream.
Economic news, courtesy of
LONC Finance is taking the power of innovation to the next level, winning 5 goals at the Technovation Awards 2022, leading the digital revolution with cutting-edge interbanking digital payments. LONC Finance claims the overall Gold Award whilst also claiming an extraordinary victory in digital banking.
Economic news. Water released from the Udawalwa Reservoir for paddy cultivation in the Yala season at the Mahavali Development Zone will begin at dawn tomorrow. The present water capacity of the Udawalwa Reservoir is at 144,000 feet. And that was economic news.
LONC Finance is taking the power of innovation to the next level, winning 5 goals at the Technovation Awards 2022, leading the digital revolution with cutting-edge interbanking digital payments. LONC Finance claims the overall Gold Award whilst also claiming an extraordinary victory in digital banking.
Weather report.
Showers or thunder showers will occur at several places in the Sabaragamuwa, Western, Central, Northwestern and North Central provinces and in the Galle, Mathura and Mullaitivu district during the afternoon or night. Mainly fair weather will prevail elsewhere over the island. And that was the weather report. And prior to concluding this news broadcast, the headlines once again. The State Minister says that all parliamentarians have a responsibility to decide on the future of the country without narrow political gains. The Prime Minister appreciated the active contribution provided by the Muslim community to various sectors, including the business and education fields in the country. Parliamentarian of the Samagi Jana Balawegaya says that it is not suitable to use children as shields to the problems which were created due to the tax policies. Measures will be taken to introduce a district digital index to Sri Lanka. And on foreign news, UN says that Afghan economic hopes threatened by Taliban. And with that, we end this news broadcast from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.